Scooby Dooby Doo. Doo dooby dooby. Scooby Dooby Doo. Ba dubby dubby doo. Afro, Mike, you got all kinds of shit in your afro, dude. Oh, the dog's in here. That's why all the hair. Yeah. Yes, I will get you some product for your hair, you scumbag. Hey, here we go. Corner Nightmares here. Shirokage Mackenzie, Bad Olive. Woo, going too fast. Tyshawn Licks, King Don. I saw that backwards immediately. Jamie's in. Flippa, Darkslaver Licks. Cesaro did. What the fuck? Did notifications accidentally go out? What the hell? Yeah, for those of you who are talking about the title of the stream, again, as always, I have people reach out to me here at the channel regularly, especially since most of you guys are younger. But just with dealing with different issues and stuff like that. A lot of people talking about, which is understandable the way the world is, anxiety lately. So during this stream, I'm going to try and show you guys a couple of little, for lack of a better term, I never liked this term, but lack of a better term, little life hacks I've learned that came through the hypnosis process. As you guys know, I've been a hypnotist for a long time. That might, for any of it, even if it's not like anxiety isn't something chronic for you, all of us get anxious at times or have stress at times, and it's just little tips and tricks you guys can try, and I'll do it in real time with you here, explain to you how you practice it, and see if it helps anybody. Mother Nature pissed you off yesterday, Gunner? What'd that bitch do? She's no friend of mine anyway. She's an asshole. She's been a real dick to me in February, screwing up my schedule every morning when I get up and there's snow out there on my goddamn wheelchair ramp and sidewalk and everything. Breathing techniques are part of it, T-Money. Yeah. Yep. Exams suck. It's funny, brother, you bringing up exams. That's another thing I'm going to talk about too, is how useful some self-hypnosis techniques can be for test taking. Real useful for that, and I'll explain to you why. We got a lot of people in here already. But I just wanted to let notifications go out, and we'll talk about it all. Is the Daytona 5... Oh, no, Gunner, you weren't there for the Daytona 500, were you? And had it rained out? I saw it was rained out. Would they get in, like 20 laps? You weren't there and missed it. That would suck. If you had a ticket for it, because for those of you who don't know, of course, the Daytona 500 is a huge stock car race. And yesterday it got rained out after 20 laps, and then they move it to today. Well, if you went there in person, or for a lot of people that were off yesterday, they're not off work today, don't get to see it. Yeah, we did, Mr. Miles. We were talking about that the other day. TFS canceled DBZA. Yeah, that is sad. It is. I understand why, but it is sad. It does kind of suck. Shirokage says, I have anxiety issues. I just watch anime titties, listen to ASMR, and kill stuff on my PS4. Those are all, listen, all joking aside, those are all excellent ways of dealing with anxiety. They really are. And just redirecting your mind and what your consciousness is thinking of at the time. But we got plenty of people in here. Okay, Jamie always make me laugh. Playing with my lady bits helps my anxiety. Listen, when a woman will let me play with their lady bits, it helps my anxiety a lot, let me tell you. That's pretty good. Pornhub, that's actually true. See, it's funny. We say a lot of these things tongue-in-cheek, but a lot of what you guys are saying is true, Pornhub. But what I'm going to talk about is not actually inducting someone into a hypnotic state, but simply the process of allowing your subconscious mind to just in the moment, on the fly, kind of take over from your conscious mind. And I'm going to explain to you guys how you do that, but comedy absolutely helps anxiety. Anything that redirects your conscious mind will help with anxiety, because obviously it's your conscious mind that is bringing in the things that are making you anxious, whether they're real or imagined. I mean, sometimes our anxiety is based on things that are genuine and right in front of us, and other times the anxiety is from things that we're speculating about and don't even actually exist. But in either event, if you can get your conscious mind on a different track, it will help you deal with the anxiety. And what the self-hypnosis does, and yes, it's very similar to meditation, what self-hypnosis does is it allows your subconscious to basically take the front seat in your mind's functions and push your your conscious mind to the back. So it's doing the same thing. But what you have to remember is when you're aware that you're doing it, people go into like a self-hypnotized state all the time. But when you're doing it intentionally, when you're aware that you're doing it, that subconscious is like a clean slate and it's just waiting for you to draw on it. You can take your mind any place you want to go. But the important thing is, and I'm going to explain to you guys how to do this, and we'll practice with it a little bit right now. Trust me on this, because this is the only thing that makes me a little apprehensive about doing it. Don't get involved in doing what I'm about to tell you to do if you're currently doing something that requires your attention, because you will zone out. Obviously, I don't think there are too many people that are probably driving and watching the live stream, although somebody could be just listening to it. Anything like that, if you got anything like that going on that requires your attention, don't pay any attention to what we're about to talk about here. Don't participate. Don't do what I'm going to tell you to do, because it really will detach you a little bit from your reality. It will make if you have to make a quick lightning life and death decision, you're not going to do it all that quickly. So basically the process of self-hypnosis is, and the easiest way to achieve it, and anybody that wants to join in can do this right now. If you sit back, relax, whatever position you're in, get into a nice relaxed position where your arms, you're not supporting the weight of your arms. Have them, on your knees, on your lap, whatever the case may be. If you're laying down, lay them at your side. Just get in a nice relaxed position. Take a couple of nice deep breaths in and out. And while you do it, just find a focal point. You can do it with your eyes closed or open. You can find focal points with your eyes closed just as easily as you can with them open. And take in a couple of deep breaths and just basically clear your mind and focus on that focal point. Don't focus on anything else. And as you do it, I'm not going to do it for you. As you do it, just count slowly back from 10 to 1. And everybody just try that. And this is just to demonstrate to you basically how it all works. But I'm going to shut up in just a moment. Relax. Anybody that wants to play along, just relax. Get in a nice relaxed position. 2 good deep breaths in and out. Find that focal point as you're taking those breaths in. And then count slowly, not agonizingly slow, but slowly back from 10 to 1. Go ahead. Everybody do it now. Okay, now everybody, all of those of you who tried it, all of you should have experienced a really kind of a cool feeling of just relaxation. That is it. What you just experienced there are the early stages of a hypnotic induction. Hypnosis is a laser focus on relaxation. So when you're doing that, and I saw Kenji, I apologize. Sometimes I speak quickly, and I got to stop doing that. My pronunciation isn't as good as it should be. Like right there, it wasn't vocal point; it's focal with an F. A focal point. In other words, just when I say a focal point, if your eyes are open, it can be a spot on the wall. If your eyes are closed, you're basically focusing on nothingness, but that is still focusing. Well, you weren't actually. Nothing is what you're supposed to feel, Jamie. You don't. At this point, this is just teaching you guys how to start accessing that subconscious, bringing the subconscious to the forefront of your mind. You're not supposed to feel anything specific other than some relaxation. It's the reason why people will say when somebody's getting angry, they'll say, well, take a moment and count to 10. Okay, but without a focal point, you can count to 10, you can count to 100. If you're pissed off enough, it's going to last through it. It's a case of counting to 10, or in this case, counting backwards from 10, at the same time concentrating on something other than what's bothering you. That's what the focal point does. Just get your eyes fixated on something else, or get your eyes fixated on the darkness of having actually closed your eyes. A nice couple of breaths and a deep breath in and out is the body's natural way of relaxing itself. And you'll start to bring the subconscious mind in front, conscious mind to the back. That is, and this is what gets lost a lot. And unfortunately, a lot of, well, I was going to say a lot of hypnotists don't explain, but unfortunately, a lot of hypnotists don't even know how it works. They're just all about the induction, so they make a few bucks telling people to do silly things. It's something you need to practice. When you practice bringing your subconscious to the forefront, it gets easy. I can do it in seconds. A good example is, what you have to remember is the subconscious is where we store all our long-term memories. Okay, it's like, I always compare it to a computer. The subconscious is like the hard drive in the computer, whereas the conscious mind is more along the lines of the processor. So all that stuff is stored there. So a good example was, and this one that always stuck with me, one time we were having conversations about movies, and I wanted to remember an Adam Sandler film. I was trying to make reference to it, and you guys know my memory. It just went out. Well, I could have looked it up on my phone, but instead, if you know that memory is there, if it's a memory that you know does exist, if you take those steps I just told you right now, if you can sit back, relax, couple of deep breaths, and now while you're focusing, focus on any element of that memory that you're looking for. For me, I could remember what the cover of the DVD looked like. I can remember the cover art for it, and I can remember, of course, Adam Sandler in the role. And so I took a couple seconds, got into that state, that subconscious state. It's like walking through your subconscious, looking for that information, and in probably, for that time was like 10, 12 seconds, it flooded it. You actually feel like the flood of information coming in, that the name of the movie was Billy Madison, and everything else came running right along with it. You know, all the plot lines, all the storylines, Norm Macdonald, this, that, the other, everything came flying back. That Julie Bowen played the girlfriend. All that came flying back in. The reason that works well for things like testing is, if you're taking a test, for those of you who are in school, if you're taking a test, you're looking at a question, and you're stuck on the question. But now here's the important part. You're stuck on the question, but you know you covered the material. You know, self-hypnosis isn't magic. It can't help you find something that never existed in your memory. But you're looking for an answer to a question that you know you've covered, and you know you've read up on it. It's just not there for you. Same thing. Sit back, look away from the paper, take in a couple breaths, get a good focus, and learn to work your way through that subconscious. Remember any little detail of that answer that you can. Even if the detail of the answer is the question itself, you will be shocked how often your subconscious will act as kind of like your own personal Rolodex, and it will go find that information for you. Now, again, you don't want to, you're taking a test that's timed, you don't want to spend 5 minutes looking for one answer. Sometimes it takes a while, but a lot of times you'll be able to find it almost immediately. When you learn to have done this, when you learn to go to this state where you're bringing your subconscious to the forefront, it's so good at relieving anxiety, because you can basically vividly dream in that state. So you can, for all intents and purposes, just leave the real world alone for a little while. And you have to be whatever you want to be. Maybe, do you want to be a Saiyan? You want to be a Super Saiyan? Same thing. You go in, you take those couple of deep breaths, really clear your mind, really get relaxed, counting backwards from 10 to 1. And as you're counting, you're thinking about how cool it would be to have those kind of Saiyan abilities. And you can actually picture yourself, you know, doing the Kamehameha and whatever else it may be. You can almost feel that in your hands, like an energy blast coming from it. It will work. And why that works, a lot of people say, well, you're just tricking yourself. Well, in a way, kind of, but it's not a trick, because it's intentional. What you're doing is you're departing reality for a little bit, and that's what the subconscious allows. Your subconscious mind does not analyze, it doesn't critique, it doesn't ask questions, it takes suggestions. That's why when I hypnotize somebody and really get you into that state of total relaxation, if I say every time you hear the word Pepsi, croak like a frog, you'll do it, because the subconscious mind will take that suggestion. It doesn't care that it's silly. It doesn't analyze the fact that it's silly. It'll just do it. Your subconscious mind will also take suggestions from you. So if you get into that state and you tell your subconscious that in that world that you're living right now, you're a Super Saiyan, you will be and feel to be a Super Saiyan much the same way you would in a dream. This is something that I use every day. It's the greatest life hack there is, and it's something you can practice all the time. Do not do this when your attention is immediately required. Again, I always use driving. Do not do this while driving. Do not do this while performing neurosurgery, because you do take away any reaction time. Your conscious mind never goes completely away. It can be reawakened in an emergency if something happens where you need it to be there, but it's going to take that extra second to happen. So in other words, if you're driving and you're zoning out like this on purpose, when that animal jumps out in front of your car, it's going to take a little bit of an extra beat before you can get your foot on the brakes. Now, before we go on with it anymore, I'm going to watch the chat. We can do another hypnosis stream, Cesaro. Basically, this is what I'm teaching you guys is hypnosis light. It's not actually inducting yourself. It's the early stages of self-hypnosis to just allow the subconscious to come in and save the day from the conscious mind that's getting overwhelmed with anxiety. That's what we're learning to do right here. Do you have any questions or anything? Pulling on your fingertips, this also helps. True, Jack Queen. Any type, for some people, rather than pulling on your fingertips, for some people, they'll just do this with their fingers, slowly and gently. Any type of rhythmic, repetitive motion, yes, can help you get there as well. Gimster says, the last time I trusted your advice to self-hypnosis, I started to have Mr. Popo night terrors, so you can understand my hesitation of this. However, Gimster, though, if you were in, which is entirely possible, if you were in control enough of your subconscious to make that suggestion strong enough that Mr. Popo would come to you at night, that means you're also strong enough with your control of your subconscious to make yourself be whoever you want to be that can defeat Mr. Popo. Whether that's Goku, whether that's Godzilla, whoever that may be, that's the next suggestion you give, is the counter strike to goddamn Mr. Popo being in there. And so basically you would just say, no, Popo, no, and he would go away. Smokey Loki says, meditation is often seen as a joke, but if taken seriously, it can really help alleviate stress and anxiety, which is really detrimental to the body. Absolutely, 100%. The main reasons that things like meditation and self-hypnosis sometimes are not taken seriously is because too often with meditation, it has been associated with people that have a profit to be made. Somebody that is going to tell you that they are the light and the way and they can teach you to reach a higher consciousness. And none of that's going on. You're not reaching a higher consciousness. You're accessing a part of your brain that all of us have. It's there for all of us to use and take advantage of. And when you start making it seem like something more than that, that's where people tend to doubt it, understandably so. Same thing with self-hypnosis. For a long time, people thought hypnosis was fake. They'd go to a hypnosis show and say, oh, yeah, well, they're all people that were plants in the crowd. That you still get a lot of that, but that's because Hollywood, you guys know that's one of my pet peeves, Hollywood portrays hypnosis in such ridiculous manners all the time. But what's helped a lot, too, is the recent clinical studies that have been done on hypnosis, and even the clinicians themselves have been amazed at how powerful it is for things like pain management, stress relief, insomnia. It outperforms over-the-counter drugs in most of those areas. But you're right. That is why people, though, see self-hypnosis and meditation as something other than what they are. And they're really phenomenal. They're the best life hacks out there. Good point, Gimster says, someone defeating Mr. Popo. Do you remember DBCA? Absolutely. But that's what you got to remember, Gimster. That's why it's so important that you're dealing with your subconscious, where you can make it take any suggestion, even a suggestion as ridiculous as that someone could defeat Mr. Popo. um, let's see. Hold on, I just knocked this down. Didn't mean to. Sorry about that. Ami says, so basically it's fantasizing. In a way, but it's a more focused fantasizing. I mean, we can fantasize in within the moment about anything. You know, I watch an anime, and it's not going to be uncommon to have a quick little fantasy. I see Nico Robin sprout angel wings. Yeah, that's a fantasy moment. It's not as it's not as real seeming or as moving as it would be to self-hypnotize, or, and again, just allow the subconscious to take over and give the subconscious the suggestion that you're interacting with Nico Robin with angel wings. So it's much more, the aesthetic is much more real seeming, put it that way. Let's see. Eddie Hall used hypno for the world record 500 kilogram deadlift. Oh yeah. Gigamac, the actual, and in sports, it's self-hypnosis is just huge. But you've heard the term being in the zone used. We all have within sports. You know, somebody will, what basketball say, somebody gets hot where they just can't miss. That is basically being in the zone, is allowing your subconscious to take over. The reason I say this is a basketball player at any level, at any reasonable level, has made these shots a million times in practice and games. You know, it's just something you do constantly. So your body knows how to make that shot from anywhere in the court. When you tone out all the noise, when you're not using the conscious mind, there is no such thing as nerves, because again, the subconscious doesn't care about those things. It doesn't analyze. It doesn't allow those things in. When you go to the subconscious, which is in the zone, and all you're seeing is that ball and that hoop, then it's just allowing your body to go, your mind to go to those memories of how you've made this shot a million times before. It doesn't analyze it. It doesn't overthink it. It doesn't worry about bricking it. It just does what it knows how to do. That's what's called being in the zone. Golfers, any sport that requires extreme concentration, use these techniques all the time. Let's see. Meditation and hypnosis can never work on me. Jamie says, being asthmatic, that's tough because of the breathing. I can't breathe in and out. Yeah, on command, because it causes pain. It tenses me rather than relaxes me, which breaks my concentration. That's true. That makes it very, very difficult, Jamie. You're right. That is what. See, the problem that you're running into there is you get to a point where you can reach that like self-hypnotic state, at least on a light level, almost immediately. But because of the breathing issues, you aren't able to practice it over and over to where you can get there. So yeah, it's a vicious circle. That does make it tough. Is it possible to do it? Sure. You can get there without deep breathing, but with breathing issues, it's always going to be difficult, because again, when you're letting the conscious will take back over from the subconscious if it believes there's any type of danger or something that needs to be addressed. Obviously, if you've accessed the subconscious and for whatever reason you start to fear that you're not getting the air in that you need, your conscious mind, you're right, it's going to come take right back over and take care of things, and that will take you out of the self-hypnotic state. Let's see. Kenji, Curtis fantasizing about Nico Robin with angel wings? Yeah, dude. You come on, you can't be surprised by that. Gimster, heading to bed now for my last free night off before I go back to my 12-hour shift again. Goosh, 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 goodbye. Well, thanks for being in while you could, Gimster. And grind it out, my friend. Hope all goes well for you at work. I always hated those moments that, like Gimster's talking about, though, where you're getting whatever shift you're on, the last good rest you get before you go back to the grind again. But thank you for being in with us, pal. Exactly. Daniel says, have to love muscle memory. Right. And again, that's where the subconscious stores memories. So when you get in that zone to where you're allowing the subconscious to take over and just do what your body knows how to do, again, that is being in the zone. Thanks, Dark Dingo. Now that's colorful. I like that. I again, I'm simple. I will always always get a chuckle out of those different graphics. Yeah, so that's good on the thumbnails, Cesaro. For streams like this, I tend to just put up, family photos that I like or something like that. And that was Disney World in two, 2007. 2007, yes. Uh, you haven't fantasized about Nico Robin with angel wings? Yeah, lifer. Holy crap. Um, Kenji, that's an excellent question. I had a similar question posed to me like this before. I want to learn to play piano. So can I learn this through hypnosis, or will I just imagine about it? You can't learn to do it through hypnosis because you don't already possess that knowledge. You have to learn it from a teacher, from a video, however you want to go about learning it. Getting into, once you've learned techniques, when you want to call on those techniques again, if you get into that zone, then yes, there's a better chance of you playing flawlessly. I had someone ask me once when I was explaining this, and it's an excellent question, of all the things you're going to accomplish with the subconscious. And this guy said to me, okay, so wait. He said, so you're telling me that if you hypnotize me and then tell me I can play the guitar like Jimi Hendrix, that I can? I said, no. What hypnosis does is, if I hypnotize you and tell you can play the guitar like Jimi Hendrix, you'll think you can. And if I give you a guitar and you start wailing on it, to you, this sound, the actual sound, will be Hendrix on the guitar ripping the national anthem at Woodstock 69 or something. What everybody else in the room is going to hear is you brutally attacking that instrument and making these horrific sounds that are causing them all great pain, but you will hear the music. So that's how that works. So that's why it won't actually help you learn to play piano. However, once you've learned to play piano and you want to play, say you're playing out in public or something like that, if you can take that moment to just relax, get the subconscious in place so you can access what you have learned, it can help you with that. I get stressed out very easily, Willie says, and I find it best to listen to relaxing music and slow breathing. That absolutely, Willie. That's another great way. If you want to do, like I said, and basically take yourself on a guided self-hypnosis, which is to where you can see whatever you want to see, do whatever you want to do, remember whatever you want to remember. A good thing to do is play some nice relaxing music as you do all of that. Absolutely. Again, I think I told you guys this. One of the things that got to me once was I was thinking back to my Little League days, and I'll do this a lot to go to sleep at night. If I can't sleep, I use self-hypnosis. And what I do is I use guided self-hypnosis. So I'll take the steps I've described to you guys as I'm laying down, but I'll also give myself a focal point, something to look at. Typically, I'll go back to something that is a memory. And the one night, I was going back to my Little League days, because when I was a kid, I just was a baseball fanatic. And so I wanted to go back to my Little League field that I played on when I was a kid. And the thing that struck me as funny was, and it's funny how the memories that your subconscious will serve up to you. I went back and I found myself, instead of being in the midst of a game or something, I found myself very vividly back at those fields, and it was early spring, and we were out there cleaning up the fields, picking up all the rocks and everything from the winter and getting everything ready to go. And I hadn't thought about that in years. I didn't even know that memory existed. But once it started coming back to me, it was like, oh yeah, because again, I love baseball. And I hadn't thought about it, but that was my love of, I couldn't even wait to go clean up the fields, because as soon as we got to go out there and you got to smell that grass again and everything, it started making me feel like baseball was here because we were getting to clean the fields. Now, it was cool that the subconscious served up a memory that I didn't even remember existed. I thought I was going to go back to the days of playing ball, and, I'd be on the field and could picture the field and the signs along I still remember even some of the signs that would line the outfield wall, the advertisers and things of those nature. But instead it took me to cleaning the fields, and I didn't know that existed. So it's really kind of cool. It's really just, you never know what memory you're going to dig up. Let's see. Betty Bad. I didn't see what we were talking about, Betty Bad. Which thing was. Uzan says, truly interesting. I'm just out of a big depression all because of my anxiety. And so, with the help of family and friends, they forced me to do meditation and find my true self free today. Yes, absolutely, Uzan. And again, if you've learned the steps to meditation properly, you've learned the steps to self hypnosis, and you can take that next step and take yourself on guided self hypnosis trips. It's fun. It's great. Whether you want to retrieve some memories of fun times you've had in the past or just create your own little alternate reality. It's easy to do. And the more often you do it, the easier it gets, like anything else. You know, if you practice it enough, if you go to that subconscious mind, bringing that to the forefront, it gets to be where you can do it in moments. It's okay, Soup. Basically, what you're trying to do is to access the subconscious. For those who just came in, we're not talking about going into a full hypnotic state here. What we're talking about is just that ability to access the subconscious, because again, the subconscious doesn't analyze, doesn't critique, it just takes suggestion. All you have to do, get yourself in a very comfortable situation where your attention is not needed on something important at the moment. Get yourself in a nice, comfortable situation, nice, comfortable position. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out, and eyes open or eyes closed, doesn't matter. Find yourself a focal point and count backwards from 10 to 1, all the while keeping that nice, even breathing and focusing on nothing but that focal point. And again, blackness can be a focal point. When you close your eyes, you can fixate on the darkness, or you can open your eyes and fixate on something in the room. Count backwards 10 to 1. And you'll find yourself relaxing, tremendously relaxing, and the things that your conscious mind is thinking about, worrying about, whatever, will start to fade as the subconscious mind takes over. From that point, then you can take your subconscious wherever you want, because it will just take your suggestions. It won't critique. If you say, okay, me, I'm a big Disney nut. I want to be walking down Main Street, USA, and you start running with that, you'll be surprised how vivid it seems. It'll be dreamlike. Wolverine, who's it come up in the thumbnail? No homo. Yeah, like I say, that's an oldie. That was from 2007. Ricky the Weirdo says, how do you hypnotize yourself? Is it hacks? Not really hacks. Actually, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Because in other words, if I go to hypnotize you, I'm not actually hypnotizing you. I'm teaching you how to get there. I'm just guiding you. I can't, there's no such thing, no matter what Hollywood have you believe, there's no such thing as hypno beams that come from somebody's fingertips. I can't force you into hypnosis, a state of hypnosis. All I can do is, if you want to go to that state, I can give you the directions on how to get there. That's all any hypnotist does. You just teach somebody how to get into that hypnotic state. I hesitate to use the word sleep because you're not really sleeping, even though that's what it looks like. Do a room tour? I don't know, Mackenzie. Again, when I get time, as soon as I get time to do some video of the entire room, I will. My days are pretty full, so I never know for sure when I'm going to get time for that. Hypno finger beams aren't real. No, Big Green, as much as the sad thing is, I still know hypnotists today who would have you believe that stuff, and it pisses me off because it just makes the whole concept of hypnosis cheapened and makes people doubt it, because people want to portray it as something other than what it is. A bedroom tour, Steve says. Yeah, nobody wants to see that depressing area, Steve, or the depressing things that might take place there. Kenji says, and what about how to stay motivated? Can I hypnotize myself and make myself like the boring lessons? To a degree, sure, because what you can do, and I mean, I think you mean staying motivated for studies. Sure, in the respect that this is what's so crucial to remember. When you get yourself into, and this is how clinical hypnosis works, when you get yourself into that state where your subconscious has taken over, basically, you can give yourself those suggestions to do whatever you want. You have to come at it from a rational angle, but you can tell your subconscious, you know what? Take taking these lessons really isn't that bad, because I do remember that there was this element of it that was interesting to me. That element was interesting to me. And furthermore, all I have to do is maintain my focus on this stuff, and I can achieve the next thing I want to achieve by getting my education. If you give your subconscious that type of information, is it going to make you go, God damn, I can't wait to go to class today? No. Can you actually make class much more palatable for yourself? Absolutely. Absolutely. Terry says, I realized that the girl I liked was actually a guy. What should I do, Curtis? See, Terry, that's something like that is, it depends on you as an individual. For me, I don't have an interest in a romantic relationship with a guy. So for me, it would just be, okay, well, that didn't work out. Hopefully maintain that person as a friend. I don't know. It depends. I can't tell you what to do, because it depends on who you are as an individual. If you think you might want to have a romantic relationship with a guy, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. If you don't, then hopefully you can just continue on being friends. But that's something you can't give blanket information for, because it depends on each individual and who they are and what they want out of life. Brother E says, not speaking on myself, but what do you think about people who worry about gaining approval from others, like family, friends, coworkers, and any other people in their life? Yeah, there's a lot of people like that. That goes back to the whole, like the consider the source, to a certain degree, the consider the source video I made. I think it's most healthy to always make yourself aware that somebody's position and somebody's relationship to you do not necessarily mean that they always have your best interests at heart. And I don't mean to sound like a dick. I don't mean to say, oh, you should just take the things that your mom and dad say and just dismiss them. Not at all. All I'm saying is, don't give extra weight to what someone else thinks about you just because they're your teacher, they're your boss, they're your parent, they're your sibling. It'd be nice to think that people that are related to us will only always have our best interests at heart, but it's not always the case. Everybody is different in how they approach those within their family, and everybody shows love in different mannerisms. So what I'm trying to say is, my advice would be, don't worry about gaining approval from anyone. Be who you want to be. And the people that love you and support you will approve of you being who you are. That's the best way I can think of to put it. And people who constantly put you down, regardless of their relationship to you, doesn't mean you cut them out of your life. Doesn't mean that you don't love them. It just means that you have to have enough self-awareness to go, you know what? As much as I love this person, they don't always give me the best advice. The things they tell me are not always rooted in reality. And keep that in the back of your mind. I have relationships like that. I have a lot of family members who I put in that category. You know, I'll smile and nod when they give me some advice or something, but it's like, I know you. I know that the way you look at life is entirely different than the way I look at life. So really, your advice isn't that good, isn't useful to me, because I don't want the same things out of life as do you. And just because we're related doesn't mean that you know what's best for me more than someone who I choose to keep in my life does. Mike says, I find this absolutely fascinating. Well, good, Mike. I'm glad. I'm glad. I like having conversations like this. But yes, it's very important. My advice to people is, don't go out looking for approval. Be who you are and be honest to yourself. And the people who love you will approve of that. And the friends you find in life will be the ones who approve of who you are. That's the cornerstone to friendship. You want your friendships based on who you really are, not who you purport to be to try and create that friendship. Miss Super Chat. Nice. Oh, can we be YouTube friends? Wolverine says. I missed the Super Chat, Wolverine? I thought I just... Hold on. Was it one of the ones I just caught? Oh, no. You're talking about Mike's. I just caught it. Yeah, I try to remember to always scroll back. Yeah. What is it? Wolverine's making reference to? We've We have somebody, I had to obviously keep blocking him. We had somebody in the comment section of the videos, and he would go in on every video we'd post, and he would put things like what Wolverine put. Nice vid. Wow, this is awesome. But it always ended with, can we be YouTube friends? I'm not even sure what that means. I mean, even to you guys who I've developed friendship relationships with here, I don't look at you as YouTube friends. I look at you as just friends. I don't know what the YouTube designation even means. But yeah, he would come in and he would post a lot of them. Mortal Kombat. I used to play it a lot, Walter. I haven't played the recent releases as much, but yes, it's a good game. I always liked it. Can we be Earth friends? Commenter says. No, screw it. Earth is not real. I heard about that. It's all our combined illusion. Jamie says, here's a messed up thing. Quick, deep breaths help bring me out of asthmatic attacks. Really? However, deep meditative breaths cause the attacks. Another reason I'm never be able to do meditation hypnosis. That's difficult. That's true. See, I don't know a lot about asthma. That would kind of make sense, though. And again, this is strictly a layman's thing, but as I think about it, as you say it, Jamie, it kind of would make sense, I guess, if you have those restrictions in your lungs that taking in a lot of air just seems like it would be something that it would battle, it would try and expel. I mean, I'm assuming it's similar to like, I had pneumonia once, or getting the flu, but I remember when I had pneumonia, yeah, I couldn't, if I tried to take in deep breaths, I'd just be all over the place, and I would imagine it's probably like that, no? It just seems like it would be. Saints Row is awesome. I love Saints Row. Let me just check it. Can we be YouTube friends with benefits? Jack Queen knows. Now you're talking. Someone just called me and my friend Bilbo and Dildo. I don't want to bother Dennis. I get called worse than that daily. Brandon says, hey, Curtis, how do you feel about technology privacy between parents and their kids? What point do you feel like is too little privacy or too much privacy? I think it depends on age and the individual, Brandon. The reason I say the individual is, as a parent, you like to think that all parents take a real strong, active involvement in their children's lives. I know growing up, I was an entirely different kid than was Braxton. So as far as privacy with his electronics, as he got older, as he was more than, I want to say he was probably 12, 13, he was told, okay, because he's always proven himself to be an extremely trustworthy kid. I never had any concerns. So it was like, okay, you got your own computer, you got your laptop, whatever device you have. I'm trusting you with it. And this was the conversation we had. I'm not going to be looking over your shoulder all the time, so don't do anything stupid. As far as I know, he never did. Prior to that, I installed software on his computer, and I told him the software was there. I said, bud, you're young. This is for your protection, as well as for me to be able to make sure that you're doing the right things. I can go onto your computer at any point and see every keystroke you've made. So think about that while you're online. Now, again, as he got a little older, got towards his teens, it's like he's proven himself to be trustworthy. If I was his age, I don't think that would have been me at his age, that wouldn't have been a good thing for my parents to do, because I would have been doing stuff I wasn't supposed to do if somebody wasn't looking over my shoulder. So it all depends on the individual. I do think, though, that kids have to understand that sometimes parents might be doing things that seem invasive into their privacy, but are genuinely trying to look out for them. I know that's difficult to deal with, and I understand that. But I also think being overbearing, and when a parent goes to the state, and I know parents who will do this, where they're getting involved in the children's electronics because they want to see what's going on in their life as a voyeuristic thing, I think that's fucked up. I think kids have a right to their privacy, especially as they get a little older. They start getting interested in dating and things of that nature. Then when you got a parent who's just getting involved because they want to see what's going on, that, to me, that's where the line gets crossed. Exactly. Jack Queen says you don't want to look at a 16-year-old boy's internet history. And the way I looked at it too, Jack Queen, at 16, if he was looking at porn, I don't care. That's a natural thing. What I would worry about is him getting involved in anything that could get him hurt. As near as I can tell, watching a little bit of porn ain't gonna hurt. It might make something raw, but ain't gonna hurt him. So have a good time. So yeah, that's. I mean, to think that there isn't that natural curiosity for things like that is crazy. And to me, once you get to that age, to make a big deal out of it, why? I mean, what is the rational explanation for doing it? To come into a 16-year-old say, "Don't look at that porn because what? It's not going to hurt them." As long as they're looking at things that are not illegal and do not cross the bounds of what a normal person might be interested in. You don't want red flag stuff. If you're looking at regular run-of-the-mill stuff on Pornhub, again, how do you finish that sentence? Don't look at that because why? So yeah, I don't have issue with it. If they want licks, if they want to gnaw on the privates of their schoolmates, then they need a reference from the internet. Licks, I love the way you express things sometimes. That's a good line. Gnaw on the privates. Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't look at the nuns pooping on each other. Jack Queen says. Yeah. If you're looking at the scat videos and stuff, I might have a little bit of a concern there. Yeah. Right, Big Green, because it is unchristian, and you guys know how I feel about stuff like that. It's like, nah, for others, if that's your lifestyle, that's fine. If you think that there's a morality issue with it, that's fine. I think it's just purely natural, just part of being human. They'll look at them as sex toys. Look at who has sex toys, T-Money. I, I would answer. I'm not sure what you're saying. Which you're there. Yeah, scat. Yeah, part. Yeah, that one don't get to me. You know what else? A lot of people are into that just never did it for me was feet. I never got how, but I guess everybody's different. I never got how feet were titillating at all. Goose Goose is perfectly normal for teenage boys to go through. Absolutely, Licks. Hey, Em, good to see you, hon. Em, scat. Yeah, perfect timing, Em. We're just talking about scat. God, I'll never understand why anyone ever wants to involve poop. Yeah, me either, man. Again, everybody's got their own things, I guess, but that's not mine. Fat Guy says, I'm still not entirely convinced that scat porn isn't some elaborate meme. Even the most degenerate stuff is some kind of obvious appeal, but that one I just can't comprehend. Yeah, I can't help you guys there. That one, Jack Queen says, feet are gross. Give me pooping nuts. Yeah. And again, that one, I guess I can get that though. I mean, seeing feet as a turn on or seeing as something erotic, I don't get it all. I just think feet are kind of gross, as Jack Queen said, but it's reasonable. I mean, I don't think there's anything you look down your nose at somebody for. It certainly seems reasonable enough. I just don't get it. People like to lock feet and suck on toes. Yeah, I won't be involved in any of those. Incest cat. Incest. Really getting into the bowels. Get it? Bowels of Pornhub. Brother E. Story time. Months back, went out with a girlfriend to a bar. This guy approaches my girlfriend and I. Asked her why is she with me. I come and say because she doesn't like guys with crooked noses. Then I backslap him in the nose. That's a good one. I like that. Looking down noses is my thing, commenter says. Yeah, the two. Oh, scat is definitely the weirder one, I think. I think, anything that's part of the human anatomy, like a foot, part of the everyday anatomy, not something that's excreted, I think makes more sense than does that excretion. Bukaki Tsunami says, the only thing I don't understand is being attracted to children. Everything is okay. Yeah, that's a major issue. That's way, way, way across any line for me. Having a sexual attraction to children is... I'll be diplomatic and just say it's problematic. Lick says, "Hey, I've sucked on toast for $1 before. Gotta say, underrated. Hey, listen, a buck's a buck. Hey, dollar's a dollar. 20 is 20. Sometimes you do what you got to do." Hisoka, Kenji says, "Oh, I can't even imagine what Hisoka. Well, we know what Hisoka's interests are, going in Killua." Give me hairy octopus. He part says. Does porn cause social anxiety? I guess in the respect, T Money, that depending on your personal makeup, I guess anything could cause social anxiety. Would porn cause social anxiety more so than anything else? I don't see why it would. Cesaro, swing. Jamie says, that's why it's hard to watch hentai. A lot of them have underage participants. Yeah, and it just, yeah, I'm with you, Jamie. It's just, it's not interesting. I don't, even if it is an adult, and see, I've never gotten into that because you see a lot of that. It's like the barely 18s. You can't even tell they're 18. Really? There's no fucking interest in that. I just, I don't know. I don't get it. Wolverine says, look for next post. It's censored with super chat. I gotta love Susan. Let's only censor the super chats. If people are spending money to be seen, we can't let the words they're saying be understood. Yeah, I'll watch for it, Wolverine. Jesus Christ. I've seen some shit on Pornhub that scarred me for life. I believe you, P2. I believe you. I think when perusing our porn, we've all made an accidental click or got clickbaited and went, God damn. That's well put. Mr. Miles says, porn only screws with my anxiety when I watch it in public. It's a mystery. That's funny. You guys are good. I'm attracted to censored super chats, Big Green says. M says, I don't know about accidental, but I'm going with accidental, M. Hold on, I gotta watch for Wolverines. Okay, I haven't seen it yet. Brother E. Curtis, best part about that story was after I hit him on the nose, it caught him off guard and made him spill his drink. He get teary and was like, what the fuck, dude? It was a joke. Ran off like a little bitch. Oh, that's the worst. When somebody's being aggressive, and then that I have no respect for that. If you're being the aggressor, and then when push comes to shove, you run away, yeah. Wolverine was trying to say incest is incest. Jamie says, well, no, you guys won't hear me then. I don't want, how do I, where are your ears, asshole? I'm going to assume they're down here. Jamie says she's attracted to Afro Mike. All we need is this asshole's ego to get bigger. Smokey Loki, therapist, you need to stop being hard on yourself. My brain, yes, stop being hard on yourself, you little, wow, they won't even let me fake swear. That's good, Loki. Yeah, and I just like the concept of that story. The therapist has all these good ideas, and the brain's like, tell me what to do. I do what I want. If you can't find a hole to make one, Jack Queen says. You guys are funny. Afro Mike is my favorite waifu, Cesaro says. Afro Mike's a douche. Afro Mike doesn't care about any of us unless we got an afro. He thinks he thinks afros make you superior. Peter Arnson says, I'm a twin and I live in Alabama. Fuck. That's good. I love your YouTube subscriber plank in the back because he says, oh, the 100,000 thing? Yeah, that's cool. That was cool. That was a good time. Bro, afros are just hairballs. Oh, you hear that, Afro Mike? Part says afros are just hairballs. I think that's an adequate description of you. Jamie says, I have a fro. You got to guess where, though. The only thing that matters is the plot, Milkulator says. True. I mean, well, no, we're only at Pornhub for the plots. All of us are. We know that's obviously the case. Glenn Akers, Afro Mike, best there ever was, best there ever will be. Oh man, please don't pump up his ego. He's the new Spaz Share, pretty much Wolverine, except he's more obnoxious. Dragon Spears, your thumbnail deceived me. No naked Curtis in the pool. Damn it! I would have been naked in that pool. That was at Disney World. I think Goofy throws your ass out in a hurry. Gunner, if life hands you oranges, you must be dyslexic. Jesus. Mia Khalifa, I think she's gorgeous, Leopold. I always thought she was beautiful. Wasn't there something came out not too long ago that, because she's not doing porn anymore, right? I thought there was, and again, I could be wrong. I thought that, Spaz Fro Mike, I thought there was something came out where she said in the entirety of the time she had done porn, she had only made like 20 grand or something like that. I find out. I guess anything's possible. I can't doubt her because I don't, I can't say she's lying because I don't know that, but it doesn't seem possible. Mia Khalifa is retired and retired. Nicole Aniston? I don't think I know her, Kenji. I'll have to look that up. Mia Khalifa regrets porn. That's what I've heard, Andrew. I remember something. I couldn't remember all the details. But yeah, and didn't she say something in an article or something that, again, what she made, the money she made was next to nothing? Like Donald Trump or Donald Duck. Policy-wise, I like Donald Trump. Personality-wise, clearly Donald Duck. Well, I shouldn't even say that because I don't know Donald Duck's policy, so he might have an edge there too. Yeah, and against Cesaro, that number might be off. I just remember, you guys know how bad my memory is, but I remember the article being floored by how little she had made, considering she was one of the biggest names in the industry for a while there. I mean, she's a beautiful, beautiful girl. Do you think bullying contributes to anxiety? Absolutely. Absolutely, RBNY. I think bullying can be one of the biggest contributors to anxiety, one of the most stressful and heinous. I hate bullies. There's if you're going to if I was going to go down my list of people that I hate the most and would gladly commit physical acts of violence upon just because of who they are, it would go pedophiles, bullies. Yeah, bullies are the absolute worst. And the reason I say they're the worst is, again, you guys know my history. Whether in the ring, out of the ring, I've been getting in fights for most of my life. And certainly all through my younger life. I have never, ever, ever been in a situation, a school or anything like that, social situations, where if I wanted to get into a fight, that you couldn't find somebody else who wanted to get into a fight too. There's never been a reason to pick on somebody who doesn't want to fight. So if you're picking on somebody who doesn't want to fight, it's just because you're a fucking douchebag. Because if that's your thing, if you like getting into a good tussle here or there, go find somebody else who feels the same way. But that's just for people who are afraid to get into it with somebody who feels the same way because they don't want their ass kicked. Yeah, that'll get me worked up talking about that. I hate bullies. Like I say, that's my list. Pedophiles, bullies. Prove to me somebody's either one of them, and I'd be happy to do a little jail time just for the opportunity to punch them in their fucking face. Brother E says, Curtis, I was telling Brax the other day about my younger brother. He's currently in Cortland studying criminal justice. Cool. Interested in becoming part of the FBI. Right down in Cortland, huh? That's cool. A little bit of bullying can actually be helpful in the long term. I don't think so, Milkulator. Put it this way. I don't think you can accomplish anything with bullying that couldn't be accomplished more effectively with different means, if you're talking about actual bullying. Have I ever watched any Riley Reid videos? No. GD Shadow Dog. Well, hold on. You got me interested. Hold on. Let me just take a quick peek, guys. This could be very important. Let me open up and... Come on, Google Chrome. All right. And for those who don't know, Chrome is, of course, one of our near and dear friends here at the channel. So I always say Google Chrome when I'm yelling at my browser because I don't want it to be mistaken as that I'm yelling at Chrome. Wow, she's beautiful. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Very pretty. Very pretty face. I'll tell you though, now that I looked at images though, she wouldn't be someone that if I was looking at porn, I would follow just because she looks too young. Again, that's just not an attractive look. She's gorgeous though. Beautiful face. But yeah, like I say, she wouldn't be someone I would follow through the halls of Pornhub just because again, well, I'm an old fart. I'm almost 60. So, looking at young girls to me are girls in their 30s. So, yeah, she does have really tiny boobs, but she's very pretty. I mean, very pretty face. Yeah, way too young for me, Kenji. It's just, again, I've told you guys before. You guys know what a football fanatic I am, and when I watch my college games, I find myself when they go to shots of the cheerleaders, it's not even something that's stimulating at all. It's just, oh, look at the pretty young girls. I sound like I sound like the old man shooing kids off my lawn. But in fairness, when they show the cheerleaders in the NFL games, then it's like, that. Dragon Sphere says, "Damn, I'm 29. I guess that means we know Gooch." um, Nina Hartley, I do know. Wait, let me look her up for sure, Cesaro. I think I know who that is, and if it's who I'm thinking of, yes, I like her. I do believe I know that name. Hold on, let me look. Let me look. No, that's not who I thought it was. But yes, that's way more my speed. She's not who I thought she was, though. See, and the funny thing too is when it comes to attractiveness with women, for me, I don't have any real specific types. It's just all more about how everything works together. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes any sense or not. But I don't have specific types at all. Okay, I'll check one more. Andrew says Misty Stone. All right, let's see Misty Stone. The thing is, it's hard to actually get noticed as a porn star anymore because amateur porn has become so popular now. I mean, a lot of people watch that instead of the professional stuff. Oh, she's very pretty. Yeah, I tell you, that's what's different from the days when I was young. Is let me tell you, the porn stars of today tend to be much more elegantly beautiful than a lot of the porn stars of my day. The porn was made, in back alleys, and a lot of the girls they got them into porn because they were addicted to drugs, and that's how they made their drug money and stuff. So it's an entirely different thing now. I mean, like this girl, there are some stunningly beautiful women in porn now. Um, what is my opinion on communism? Yeah, it's not gonna be positive. No, I don't. Again, I'm very pro capitalism. Now, mind you, before anybody gets nervous, capitalism can be corrupted, and that's the problem. Is we have too much corruption within our capitalism. But as a form of government, I believe it is superior. It's just that, unfortunately, like anything else in the world, it gets corrupted. I have not visited Morocco, Taha. I would love to do more world traveling, but I've never been out of North America. I've been through a good hunk of the states, been to Mexico, been to Canada, but that's it. And I would really, really like to get to travel internationally. Peter says legalize prostitution. I've said that for years. You're never going to stop it. It's been around, it's the oldest profession. I don't know. It seems to work well in Nevada, and I don't see a downside to legalizing it. It cleans it up, hopefully gets a lot of women off the streets and in that type of danger, even their customers out of that type of danger. And again, it's consenting adults, so it's not even like alcohol or something where you partaking can end up hurting someone else down the line. You can't hurt anybody else, so I really don't understand why it wouldn't be. Excuse me. Angela White. Okay, I'll look up one more. Angela White. Let's see her. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. We got talking about porn stars. Man, we get off the track here. All right, hold on. I need some better images. That's not even a good picture. Where that first one comes up. Oh my God. She has very large boobies. She's pretty. She's pretty. She's got a hell of a rack. I don't know. Now, see, she's a tough one because in some of these pictures, she looks, again, when they get looking too young, it just kills the illusion for me. Oh, but most of them, no, she looks like she's mature. Wow. Holy crap. Yes, that is a quality wreck. She's 34 years old. Yeah. Oh, she's an Aussie. She's gorgeous. Man. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. Wolverine says, okay, hold on. I'll do a couple more. Kendra Sunderland. Let's see. Oh, that's not who I put in there. Why did you do this to me? Why you gotta do this like that? Kendra Sutherland. Thank you. Okay, let's go to some images. Hold on here. Yeah, she's a pretty girl. Very pretty girl. Again, I like them a little more mature looking than that, but very, very pretty girl. And what was the other one? Jenny Lee. Let me just copy it. It's easier. All right, let me take a look at this one, and then I'll be right back to the chat, guys. Jenny Lee. Let's see. Images. Oh, she's got a unique look, doesn't she? Very different look about her. Wow. She's one of these huge difference between, not to say she's ugly, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, just huge difference in how she looks with makeup and no makeup. Holy crap. Yeah, she's attractive. But again, most of them are now. Okay. Well, let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Melanie Monroe, Vanessa Cage. I've heard that Vanessa Cage name before, Niall. I don't know. Don't know why, but I might if I saw her. Brother, he's currently trying to get into this internship where they work. Oh, talking about his brother, where they work directly under bureau investigators. That would be cool as hell. And FBI investigators. Apparently, it is now a requirement for interns to know data analysis and coding for deep learning. Oh, that makes sense, considering that so many of the threats we face today are digital. Hey, Mr. Hades, that doesn't surprise me. Jack Queen and I are in kind of the same boat here. He says, I didn't even know porn stars had names. Yeah, that's why some of these names aren't familiar to me. Same, brother. I just go in and look for the specific situation I'm looking for, and Smokey Loki says, if I were a billionaire, I'd pay sports commentators to comment over Pornhub videos. That would actually be kind of cool. Commentator 1, she's giving him the all clear that she's wide open. Commentator 2, and he misses. Oh, you hate to see it happen, Bob. They left some serious points out on the floor tonight, fans. Sometimes you bring your A game, and sometimes it's just not there. You're right, Loki. There are so many sports euphemisms that would work so well within the realm of the porn industry. Corey Chase, her I do know, Niall. Yeah, she's gorgeous. I've always thought Corey Chase is gorgeous. Yeah, and she's more mature. Yep, I've seen her in a bunch of videos. That name I do know. Yeah, that name stuck with me because I always thought she was beautiful. Family-friendly porn, Peter says. Golden Mobster. I was in one of Devil Artemis's videos. I am Moistafista. He contacted me. Apparently, we're going to be doing something else here coming up soon too. And I'm you guys know that I'm such a Devil Artemis nerd, such a fan of his. It's an honor to be in anything he does. But yeah, Moistafista. That's one of the things I think I should have on my tombstone when I go out. As far as immortalizing me, somewhere we got to put Moistafista on there. I am Moist the Fister. It's better not to name your sex slaves. It can be inconvenient at times. I can imagine. Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'll do one more search. Hitomi Tanaka. I've always thought that Asian women are gorgeous, so this is promising. Just what it is with Asian women, how so many times it seems like their skin never ages. Let's see. Where is she? We'll go to images. Oh, yeah, she's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But again, wow. Those are sizable as well. But yeah, I've always thought that Asian women had just a great look about them. Brother, he says, imagine if Disney bought the porn and just bought the porn industry. They might as well. They bought everything else. Every money shot would end with a goofy yuck sound effect. I would watch that though. Here it comes. Yep. Oh, we're there. Some of the Disney princesses are hot. Peter says, yeah. um, Jesus Christ. Jamie says, I have a crazy but 100% true story. The reason I despise prostitution is because a relative tried to kidnap me when I was a kid and give me to her pimp trafficking. Holy shit, Jamie. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that hits a little too close to home. um, Part says, I know this is an anxiety relief live stream, but I like how we are discussing movies. And it's probably relieving a lot of anxiety for all of us, too, Part. We've said that forever. It's one of my favorite things about our streams is how they can start in one place and just end up in a whole different world by the time it's over. I think this week I'm going to try, guys, too, just so you know, I'm going to try to be adding a second live stream, or I'm sorry, a second podcast. And if I do, it'll be on Wednesdays, and it'll be one of the Free for All Friday type streams where it's about anything. It's just going to be a comedy podcast. So I might be able to get that set up this Wednesday. So if you guys got time, come on in and join that. Because I just think it'd be a good way, because the podcast live streams are always, political, more serious stuff. I thought it'd be fun to let people in the podcast world hear the fun that we have in these types of streams. uh, Wolverine says your mom is the best in the industry. She's super sexy kawaii. She's actually a really lovely lady. Made me cookies after her. I'm obviously not serious. No, my mom wouldn't make cookies after her. M says it's always a good day when sex is involved. Usually, yeah. I think we can all identify at some level with that. Usually, yeah, I'm with you. I'll try and do another hypnosis stream here or there, Lex. I will. Fuck that start a porn podcast, Tsunami says. Probably do quite well, wouldn't it? Well, every stream would be this. Having these discussions, not that. That would require me to do research on this. Yeah, I would do a porn podcast, but all that research I'd have to do, work. How am I going to get that done? um, Big Green says, does that mean I don't have to stay on top of guys during those podcasts? No, you're absolutely right, Big Green. It'll give you mods a little, it'll give you mods some breathing space in the podcast streams. Nope. The only difference will be in those, and I'll explain it at the time. You're still welcome to say anything. I do not believe in inhibiting people and saying what they want in those streams. I will not necessarily repeat everything. That doesn't mean you can't tell off-color jokes and stuff. You absolutely can. If people are offended by it, don't listen to the podcast. But if it's something that I just think is over the top more than what I want to share on a podcast, I won't say it like that dipshit who had the nasty things to say about Kobe. I think he has every right to say them. If somebody said that in one of the podcast streams, I'm not repeating it because I think it's stupid. So, but other than that, everything goes. Again, I'll never tell you guys in those types of situations that you can't say what you want to say. It just might not be something that I'm going to repeat for the podcast audience. I'm attracted to belly buttons. Actually, Peter, I don't know if you're being serious or not, but I've heard of that before. I know some people really are. Oh, good. Watching Spaz Boy stream every day. Well, I'm going to try for this week. I'm hoping to start it this week. I thought it'd be fun to break up all the politics and the seriousness with a stream that's just, because I have so many laughter in these streams. Favorite anime boobs? Impossible, Sam, to come up with some that are just better than any others. There's so many quality boobs. I mean, you start with Saris and Akino, and then you go to our One Piece girls and Professor Bitch and Midnight, and it just never ends, Yeah, it's impossible to say what are the best. Thrills to go. Oh, well, good. I'm glad you could be in here. The navel fetish is more common than people think. Yeah, again, Glenn, just like when we were talking about feet, I don't think it's just because it's not my thing. You can see where that's a thing. I mean, it's a part of the human anatomy. I guess any part of the human anatomy can be alluring to someone else. So, Brandon Rogers, oh, My Japanese Girlfriend, that was hilarious. Get it? That's still one of my all-time favorite sketch comedy things I've ever seen. I just think back to when it immediately starts making me laugh. Joke's on you, Gabe. I don't read the English. Let's see. Uh, Sasuke or Bakugo? As far as characters, as far as who I like Bakugo better in his series. Sasuke, I've always said I was very meh on. I don't dislike Sasuke, but he was never even close to being one of my favorite characters. Bakugo, I think, is a really good character. I like him a lot. Brother E says we should have a stream where we title it Mark Bark, Where Are You? And just do an entire stream where we antagonize Mark Bark to come out. When he finally does, we'll give him a participation trophy. Excuse me. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap this one up. I still got some more editing to do today and everything. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully, for those of you who were here for the part where we were talking about anxiety relief, hopefully you got a little bit of something out of it. If you're here for that part, I'm telling you, it's a situation where there's nothing to lose. Work on what I told you about being able to, get into that whole state where you have your subconscious come forefront and being able to do it like at will. It's amazing how much an effect it can have on your life and just making day-to-day trials and tribulations a little bit more manageable. But this was a lot of fun. And of course, I really enjoyed the porn part of the conversation as well. And tomorrow, if everything goes to plan, tomorrow will be GTA 5. And then Wednesday will be a Wild Wild Wednesday. That's what I'm going to call it, where we record for a podcast. But this one will just be a for fun podcast. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me in this. Thanks for making this so much fun, as you always do. I just love hanging out, spending time with you guys. These streams make me happy. Thanks again. I will see you guys tomorrow or even sooner, hanging out around at the channel together. See you later.